There is a parasite living inside you. It speaks in your voice. It uses your memories. It has been feeding on your attention since you were a child. You know it as the voice in your head. The critic. The commentator that narrates your life from a place of fear. Right now, at 3 a.m., when you are staring at the ceiling, that is not you thinking. That is the parasite feeding. It is draining your energy, your potential, and your power. And you are letting it. Welcome to the fundamental divide of human existence. There are those who are mentally enslaved, prisoners in a skull-sized kingdom built by a voice they mistake for themselves. And there are those who have achieved mental sovereignty. They have seen the machinery of their own mind and have stepped out of the cage. This is not about becoming a predator. It is about rising above, using this clarity for connection, not control. Today we dissect Law 48 from the 48 laws of power, but through the most important lens you will ever use, your own mind. The law is assume formlessness, but its truest, deepest application is internal. This is the art of killing the false self, so the real self can finally operate. Before we go deeper, understand this. This is not philosophy. This is survival. The world is filled with people who will use your own mental patterns against you. You deserve to know the architecture of your own consciousness so you can defend it. This knowledge is your right. It is your shield. So if you are ready to stop being a hostage to thoughts you did not choose, type in the comments, "I choose sovereignty." Now let me show you the 7-layer protocol to identify the parasite, separate from its voice, and achieve a level of mental clarity and power that makes you completely untouchable. Here is the first arrow, the rejection email. The missed promotion, the cold look from someone you care about. It lands, it stings. That is real. That is the first arrow, and you have no control over it. Pain is a signal. Then, within milliseconds, the automatic reactor in your brain loads the second arrow. This is the story. I am a failure. They all think I am weak. Watch the process. The event happens. Then your inner narrator begins its work. It interprets, it judges, it catastrophizes. It replays the scene on a loop, each time adding new layers of meaning. The first arrow is the fact. The second arrow is the fiction you layer on top. The suffering you feel is not from the event itself. It is from your mind's relentless, fearful commentary about it. You are not just feeling the sting of rejection. You are feeling the terrifying movie your mind is making about a future of loneliness. This is where your power is stolen. Manipulators know this. They fire the first arrow and watch as you fire the rest into your own chest. They wound you once, and your own mind finishes the job. But this isn't just talk. It's straight from ancient wisdom that modern therapists use to cut anxiety at the root. The protocol is to catch your hand as it reaches for the second. The shift happens in the gap between the event and your story. In that sliver of silence, you have a choice. You can follow the thought down the dark spiral, or you can see it for what it is, just a thought. A fearful, chattering, unreliable thought. When you drop that arrow, the relief hits like fresh air after a storm, clean and immediate. You stop poisoning yourself. That is how you become bulletproof. You believe you are the mental echo chamber, the constant stream of words, the opinions, the reruns. That is what you think consciousness is. You are wrong. You are the space in which the echo plays. You are the awareness that hears the noise. This is the most important distinction you will ever make. Try it right now. Stop reading. Listen for the next thought. Wait for it. What appears? Where did that thought come from? You did not consciously generate it. It simply appeared, and you witnessed it. You, the quiet space in the back of your skull, saw the thought float into your awareness that you is the real you. The thought is just a passing weather pattern. The voice is a conditioned response system. It labels everything. It judges everything. And you have been fused to it. You think its anxiety is your anxiety. Its fear is your fear. The shift happens when you stop believing the echo and start noticing the chamber. When a wave of anxiety comes, instead of being swept away, you take one mental step back. You think, "Oh, look at that." Anxiety is here. You do not say, "I am anxious." You say, "I notice anxiety." This is not word games. This is changing the fundamental relationship of power within your mind. Studies on mindfulness show this shift rewires your brain for calmer, more focused decisions. Every time you catch the voice and see it as an object, you weaken its claim on you. You are dissociating from the program. The thoughts may continue, but they lose their weight, their emotional charge. They become like subtitles on a silent movie. You are the screen, not the script. This is the birth of true internal power. You are no longer a puppet. You are the one who watches the hands. You are paying for that inner background scriptwriter with your actual life, while you are replaying an awkward conversation from yesterday. Your son is showing you a drawing. You miss it, you give a hollow wow while your mind is elsewhere. The light in his eyes dims a fraction. That is the cost. Your relationships are built on the quality of your attention. When your attention is captive, you are a ghost in your own home. People stop sharing their real selves with a ghost. In your career, the tax is even higher. Power flows to those who see reality clearly, in the moment. While you are trapped in a mental loop, you are missing the subtle shift in the room's allegiance, the unspoken objection on a client's face. Your mind is a museum of past grievances. The present, where all real power is exercised, is empty. You become predictable. You are easy to outmaneuver. The final cost is your own existence. Life is a series of moments. The taste of coffee, the feel of wind. When you are identified with thought, you are not here for any of it. You are living a summary of your life, written by a fear-based narrator. Research on flow states shows that presence boosts performance and deep satisfaction. But when you're absent, you drain your reserves dry. Stop financing your own absence. So who are you, really? Strip the label your parents gave you. A name is a sound people use to get your attention. It is not you. Strip the title on your business card. A job is a function you perform. It is not you. Strip the relationships. These are roles you play. Now go deeper. Strip the body. You are not the face in the mirror. That is a biological vehicle. You inhabit it, but you are not it. You know this because you feel like the same consciousness that looked out from a younger version of those eyes. Finally, strip the last layer, your thoughts and memories. Your personality is a collection of conditioned responses. Your most cherished opinions are echoes. Your memories are unreliable sketches. The story of your life is a narrative. Your mind stitches together for coherence. It is a fiction. Think of the actor who confuses the role with their life. Strip the script, and what's left is the performer, free to choose. What remains when the name, the role, the body, and the story are gone? a profound silence, a pure awareness, a presence that was there before the conditioning. This silent awareness is your base. It cannot be hurt by criticism because it has no image to protect. It cannot fail because it has no resume. From this place, you can put the costume back on, but now you wear it. It does not wear you. This process is at the heart of many traditions for building unshakable resilience. The drama in your head is not a bug. It is a feature. The parasite feeds on engagement, and nothing engages you more than your own suffering. Think about it. When things are calm, your mind gets bored. It goes hunting. It digs up an old humiliation. It fabricates a future disaster. You are not solving problems. You are manufacturing them to give the voice a job. It's like scrolling social media for that hit of outrage. Your mind does the same with inner drama. This is the addiction. The mental circuitry that lights up when you worry is the same circuitry that lights up in a drug craving. The chaos gives you a sense of identity. The overthinker, the anxious one. Your story of suffering becomes the central plot. Without it, who would you be? The voice would have nothing to say, and that silence is what it fears most. So it will fight you. When you try to sit in stillness, it will scream louder. It will present urgent, plausible catastrophes. This is its survival instinct. Your peace is its death. It would rather you be miserable and engaged than calm and free. Letting go of the inner narrative feels like a death, because it is one. It is the death of the protagonist you have been playing. But imagine the quiet that follows, like turning off a blaring alarm you've forgotten was on. To step out of that story is to shed an old skin. The you that remains does not need the drama to exist. Breaking this cycle frees up energy for what you truly love. Cognitive behavioral therapy targets these exact patterns to break their hold, and you can too. This is the surgery. You have diagnosed the parasite. You have felt its cost. Now you must be willing to let the old identity dissolve to save the host. The false self is that old identity, every I am statement, every defensive story. Its death is a visceral feeling of letting go. You do it by deliberate non-engagement. When the mind screams, "This is unfair," or "I am a fraud," you do not argue, you do not soothe. You let the claim hang in the silence of your awareness. Unanswered, you withdraw the energy of belief. You watch the emotional wave rise, crest and crash against the shore of your indifference. You are starving a structure of all fuel. It will feel like terror, like shedding a skin that felt like safety. The ego will manufacture one last, compelling drama to hook you back in. A relationship crisis, a surge of righteous anger. See it as a final bid for survival. Your job is to sit in the emptiness that follows and do nothing to fill it. What grows in that cleared space is not a new personality. It is clarity itself. A consciousness unclouded by perpetual self-reference. You perceive without immediately filtering through, what does this mean for me? You can absorb a blow without a story of victimhood. This clarity isn't cold. It's what lets you build real alliances, seeing others without your filters. Psychologists note that ego dissolution, when approached with care, leads to greater creativity and the ability to handle change. The false self was a frantic commentator. What remains is the chessboard, seeing all moves from a place of perfect, silent calm. Sovereignty is not an insight you have once. It is a rep you perform until it becomes your default state. Start small. Your only job today is to catch the voice. You are driving, and the mental movie starts. You notice it. That is one rep. You are in the shower, rehearsing a future conversation. You notice it. That is another rep. Do not judge, just notice. You are building the muscle of metacognition. Now add the shift. When you catch it, drop the story entirely and feel your hands on the steering wheel. The exact temperature of the water on your skin. For 3 seconds, be only there. You are not trying to stop thoughts. You are redirecting attention to an anchor in the physical present. This breaks the trance. Do this 10 times today, tomorrow 20. The goal is to widen the gap between the thought and your fusion with it. Each time you notice and return, the gap gets wider. The voice starts to sound like background static in another room. Its emotional pull weakens. You are teaching your nervous system that the present moment is the safest, most real place to reside. Neuroplasticity proves that repeated mental exercises reshape your brain for the better. This is the formlessness. You are becoming like water around the rocks of your mental noise, flowing past without resistance. Consistency is everything. You will fail. You will lose whole hours to the narration, then you will catch it again. That is the practice. The moment you realize you have been lost is the moment of awakening. Celebrate that. It is the rep that counts. Do this 1,000 times, and one day you will realize the commentary has nothing left to say to you. You are no longer its audience. You are the empty room it echoes in, and you are walking out the door. You just learned the 7-layer protocol for mental sovereignty, pulled from the deepest application of Law 48, assume formlessness. But knowledge that stays locked in your head is just more food for the parasite. It changes nothing. Here is your action assignment. For the next 7 days, practice only lesson 2, the observer shift. Catch yourself lost in thought 10 times each day. When you do, note thinking and return your attention to your breath or to the physical sensations in your hands. Do not judge. Just notice and return. In 1 week, you will have proven to yourself that you are not your thoughts. That evidence is more valuable than anything I can tell you. This power comes with absolute ethical responsibility. Use this to free yourself, not to manipulate others. Use this clarity to see reality more objectively, to build trust instead of traps. Remember, twisting this for gain backfires. True power comes from integrity. Like leaders who inspire loyalty without schemes, the goal is to lift those around you, creating a world where good people understand their own minds as well as any manipulator does. That world starts with you doing the work. Now you face 2 paths. The first is the old path. You go back into the noise. You let the parasite narrate your life. You remain predictable and stuck. Or you choose the second path. You commit to the practice. You choose to watch the thinker. You choose presence over projection. This is not about controlling others. It is about never being controlled by the invisible strings of your own unconscious mind, so you can connect with others authentically. So which version of yourself will you build starting tomorrow? If this resonated, hit like. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because this channel is dedicated to translating these ancient laws of power into practical, modern self-defense. In the comments, tell me this: which of the 7 lessons hit you hardest? I read them all. The war for your mind is the only war that matters. Win it, and use that victory to build something better. Stay sharp, stay ethical, stay present.